Hey folks, welcome back to HUBR Beer Review. Today, we're going to go visit our friends at Against the Grain Brewing again, and we're going to have their London Balling. So stick around.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer we are drinking and reviewing. We are back to do that today, and we've got a high ABV one, and it should be fun. I've got Jay, I've got Andy in the attic. I am Ben. What are we going to be drinking today, gentlemen?
Today, we're going to have London Balling from Against the Grain Brewery out of Louisville, Kentucky. This is a Barleywine style ale. And, I'm ready to crack. It says 48 degrees and drink from the can. So I'm going to pour some into my glass and leave a little in the can.
Me too.
Me three.
And I'm curious, this is has a great description on there. And I know Andy's going to tell us all about it. But wow.
Definitely has the aroma of a barley wine.
Indeed, it does.
It's got that malt goodness. Well, cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates. Wow.
It's a lot of malt. It's like a molasses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not bad from the can.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's like almost like something you should put over ice cream.
Yeah. Or pancakes.
Or on or a cheesecake or something like that. You know, it'd be good over a cheesecake, actually.
Yeah, I think it would.
That's a damn good idea. Your barley wine cheesecake factory. Here we go.
1 pint at 12.5%.
Yes.
Normally they would serve these in the ounce glass.
12.5%, 80 IBUs. It's an English style barley wine. It uses pale ale malt, caramel malt, and white wheat. And then uses Magnum and Hercules hops. So trying to process that for a second. It also uses British ale yeast.
You got all that thick barley wine in your mouth. It's just slow in your speech.
I'm trying to get it to coat the throat too. Since my voice is still recovering from the football game yesterday. Go Rebs. It's aged in bourbon barrels. So Monk's Road wheated bourbon barrels for 4 months. I looked up Monk's Road and hadn't heard of that one. So let's talk
There's
about
a description on the back of the can.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, just there's a description of Monk's Road.
Yeah. I thought you wanted to talk or to read it.
No, the can art is great though.
Yeah, when I read it, it just didn't add more to describing the beer or about it. That's why I was like, okay, it's so a lot to kind of unpack here. So London Balling, it is, and the way he's dressed, got music, rock and roll overtones. It's got multiple nods in this one pick. So that character first, his name is Malt. He appears on multiple cans. Against the Grain, we have done Bo and Luke, and we've done the Brown Note. Correct? Those are the only two. On their cans, they've created this whole family of characters, and certain characters appear on certain cans. So this guy's name is Malt, and so we'll get into his description later. But are you any of y'all familiar with London Calling, the Clash song? So that is a nod to this, but balling is a reference in brewing. So I thought I'd never heard of this. It's a measurement of specific gravity. So the Balling scale, it was named after Carl Balling, is a scale. It's a measurement, and it's expressed in degrees Balling of the concentration of dissolved solids, mainly sugars, in a brewery wort. So, and then its concentration, it's an indicator of the potential alcohol content. So, a very witty reference indeed with the London Balling and Calling, and being an English style barley wine. This character, Malt, he grew up in southern Indiana and kind of an ordinary, kind of dull life, but then he became a Scottish cockfighting referee. And one day he was officiating a I don't know what you call a match, a competition, a fight, cockfight, and he disqualified Michael Vick's prize cock, and he was then cold cocked by one of Vick's entourages. And while he was unconscious, the disqualified cock pecked his right hand clean off. Should we do a little dinger, a streamer running every time I say the word cock on here? No? Okay.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of other innuendos as well. I mean,
it's I don't know how. I don't think I have to say the word cock anymore on this. So, oh no, I do. I will have to say it. So get that little, clicker, the ding, whatever the dinger going. So, as an amputee, he was shamed from the cockfighting circuit and forced to move to Louisville, where he now collects government checks. And he doesn't like bitter beers. He's named Malt. And he's not bitter about losing his hand. He just hates all chickens. That's Malt. So
that's all fictitious, right?
Yeah. It's kind of cool because you can't really tell until you look at it. The hand, it's like a glove, and it's separated from the actual nub. And like right underneath it says Phantom Rock, like as in phantom pains and phantom sensations, and usually a severed extremity. So
Balls
deep tattoo.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Is that a little chicken to the right of the guitar?
What?
The little white thing
on the shoulder?
Yeah.
Well, it might be. I can't tell.
Wait,
if
on
it's
the
a skull.
shoulder. It's a skull.
Yeah.
Wait, on the end of the guitar.
No, on his shoulder, right below the shoulder, right below the guitar strap.
It just looks like a skull crossbones type of thing. Yeah.
I don't know. I could see where that might be a chicken.
For somebody who hates old chickens, I doubt Malt would have a chicken tattoo on him.
Going back to the brown note, wasn't there something on that can that referenced a phantom limb?
Malt is also appears on the brown note.
Okay. Got it. So the reason why I was asking, like this, it seems to be very fictitious, but why are they bringing in Michael Vick? And does Michael Vick know that he's in the backstory?
I don't know. Is it that Michael Vick we're talking about? He was in dogfighting. This is just a coincidence that this Michael Vick is into cockfighting in Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, they say he went to jail, but maybe he went to Scotland.
It's coincidence. Yeah.
Okay.
So again, Ben, if he does his job right, which he probably won't, there should be references or links to get to our other reviews. The Brown Note and Bo and Luke tells more about Against the Grain. But Louisville, Kentucky, and founded in 2011, a microbrewery. It's founded by 4 guys who all worked at kind of like a generic brewery there in Louisville, and they wanted to branch out and make more creative beers. And their creativity has run wild because there's a whole slew of characters in their family.
They have a lot of time on their hands.
Obviously, it's coming about all these backstories. And I mean, judging by the backstory, they probably had a couple of these when they created it. But much like Ska Brewing, they have this whole heroes and villains and stories that go on with their beer. I mean, I gotta imagine if you're brewing beer at that level, coming up with beer names and coming up with if you can come up with a theme or some kind of something that ties it all together, it just makes it that much easier to come up with some of these kind of names out there that are going to be unique and not the 31st blonde or whatever. So I think it's a neat twist to that some of these breweries.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time seeing an actual difference of a flavor or in the experience of drinking it from a can versus a glass. Did neither of
Yeah, I
y'all?
can't.
I prefer it out of glass.
It seemed a little more carbonated out of the can, maybe because we let the air escape. But that would be the only difference that I could tell.
I guess out of the can, maybe there was like a little more of a malty bite to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the malty bite or the carbonation. Myself, it was. I definitely, like most beers, prefer it out of a glass where possible.
Yeah,
all right,
I can't tell.
Who provided this one? Just Jay?
I did.
Yeah. You had this one before?
I have not. I actually waited to have this one.
Wow. Who are you?
Jay waited? What?
Who are you?
That's so unlike you.
Where's Jay and what have you done with him?
At least I think I did. I haven't logged it.
All right. Well, we'll let you go last. Andy, why don't you go first?
Why don't I? Now I've got to judge this. Now I got to drink it to judge it. I'm not offended. I think you have to be in a certain mood to drink this, to drink a barley wine. I think this is definitely better for cold weather. Because I'm feeling warm now. It feels like it's heated me up a little bit. But it's good. It's very malty, you get that caramel feel. A little it's like a thinned out molasses almost. It's very rich. For 80 IBUs, yeah, you're not picking up any of the bitter, I can't tell any hop or bitter flavor at all. It is drowned in that malt and the bourbon barrel. But it's interesting because I'm glad that they put how many months aged, because we've done beers aged 6 months and then some were 16 months. And this is very subtle in that kind of booze or barrel aged feel. And I kind of like it. I like how it's subtle, but you can still pick it out. I'm going to give this 7.5. It's fun beer, but it's, it's still up in the upper 80s today. It's making me warm.
What's the temperature in that attic? Is it
this is spray foam insulation there, so it's comparable to downstairs. So a tint warmer, just a titch.
Is that an actual word, or is that like my twang?
That's I picked it up from some nice Southern ladies.
Right. I will go
I
next.
saw that. I saw you do that
What?
with your
What?
eyes.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. All right. I think this one's interesting. I think it's first of all, as you mentioned, as we mentioned at the beginning, a 12.5% are coming in a pint glass, pint can is wow. I mean, that alone is enough for, I guess, a good time in a can right here. But I'm with you. This is one you want to drink around the fire, sitting outside on a very cold night. And obviously we are not doing that. I think, the first few sips I got, I mean, to me, it was, I don't want to say it was boozy, but that was the primary thing that I kind of picked out was just that, and it's settled down, and it actually, is really at this point really kind of nice. And I think it's because I've had half of it and it's 12.5%. But but I really like this one. I think I go back and compare it to the most recent barley wine that I've had, which was I think the Colorado Reserve that we reviewed. And I think this one is much, much better than that one personally. And I actually really like this one. I think I'd be good though if I don't need a pint of this. I need about 8 ounces of this. I think in a normal sitting, a pint is probably just a little too much for me. That all being said, 7.5 was exactly where I was at on it. It's got a really good flavor. It's boozy, but it's blended nice enough that you get a touch of booze just to remind you that it's a high ABV, but not to take it to the point to where you're just like, I just might as well drink whiskey or something. So 7.5 for me. I think it's good. Love the can art. Love the backstory. I think it's a good offering. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, you guys hit on a lot of the things that I would say. It's got the malts. It has that aroma when you open it and smell it. You can kind of smell that bourbon barrel a little bit in there. And I think you're exactly right. When you start off, it has a lot more boozy flavor to it, but it quickly died down. And yeah, I'm more than halfway through. I'm holding on so that I can toast now. To me, it's good. Barley wines are not something I would ever normally reach for, but the more I drink of them, the more I really enjoy them. And against the grain, I mean, we've done the couple we've done there have been really good. I really like their offerings, and I love their can art and their stories and everything else. And it was a cool brewery to visit when I was there about a year and a half ago, actually, 2 years ago now. So I highly encourage anybody that has the opportunity to go visit. They have a cool brewery and smokehouse there. But yeah, 7.5, same as you guys. That's where I was lining up all along. Appreciate against the grain.
Yeah. And one other thing I did want to mention is unlike some of the other beers that are aged in barrels and bourbon barrels and whiskey barrels. I mean, I actually feel a little bit of the fire that you get from whiskey. I mean, on my lips, not so much, in down when you drink it, and it goes, you drink a whiskey shot or something, you just get that warm feeling all the way down. Not so much there, but it has a little bit of fire on the lips. And maybe it's just my whole face going numb. I don't know at this point. 12.5%.
If you notice on your can, there was a sticker attached about the Monk's Road, and I'm so confused because on their website they mentioned they didn't mention Monk's Road, and so I'm guessing Monk's Road is a newer addition to it, but peel that off and it shows this, again with the balls deep
versus
versus the Monk's Road part. But the description, this one just talks a little more about the Monk's Road distillery, the bourbons and gins, and then this is a shorter descriptor about it, from a malt bill with brick that'll knock your bloody bollocks around.
That's
and that
funny.
part's on the Monk's Road too.
Yeah, this is for Slurpy Dave and Don. Hey bloke, fancy that, and you'll be gobsmacked. Do they say that? But bloody bollocks around. You have such cool words up there.
Yeah, I don't know that Don is going to be so excited about anything from England specifically, but
Come on,
being Scottish.
it's the UK. They're united now.
I mean, he
Under one
has
kingdom.
referred to the Union Jack as the butcher's. What do you call it? The butcher's apron. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
all right. Enough politics on here. All right, easy math, 7.5 for the London Balling from Against the Grain. Definitely interesting, barley wine. I think we've had a lot of fun with this one, as we have with all the Instagram Against the Grain.
It's the grain. It's its own app.
Yeah, it is. That's the new app we're making, where it's called Instagram. Be on the lookout for that. But no, 7.5. Definitely a fun one. You guys should definitely check it out if you can find it. With that, be sure to like, subscribe, cheers that notification bell. Check us out on all social media platforms, all down below, and come say hey in our Discord server. Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. It's a chat room. The three of us are there, along with Rex Road, who's joined us on some videos. Dan from FLX Beer Review is there as well. And we've got some other people. So come hop in and chat with us and the rest of us that are there. And lastly, if you have any interest in any Hopped Up Beer Review merch,
You forgot
Johnny
Mary.
on yeah.
Mary on our
Yes,
Discord.
Mary as well.
Mary Lama.
Mary Lama is there too. Thank you, Andy, for that.
Yeah.
Johnny on the spot, Jay
with
Johnny on
He's
the
there.
spot, Jay with the.
Jay's down there.
I'm looking at two different screens. He's over somewhere with our Hopped Up Beer Review merch. If you have any interest in that,
You're right
link
there.
down below.
Jay's right
Wow.
there.
Andy, what do you usually tell me about this time?
End it.
End it. Randy in the attic and Jay, I have been. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mates.